Hello friends, welcome. Friends, whoever is watching the telecom sector must be aware that today DOT is organizing another round of spectrum auction. So what you see in front of you is a tool which I have created, which kind of gives the user various options to select menu and get a feel of different kinds of auctions which took place in past, starting from 2010 in various dimensions. So what you have in front of you is a snapshot of the 2024 auction, and if you look at this particular table which I'm encircling before you with this rectangle, it kind of gives you a reserve price snapshot of various spectrum band which are being offered, which are 800 megahertz, 900 megahertz, 1800 megahertz, 2100 megahertz, 2300 megahertz, 25, 35 and 26, and the total quantum of spectrum value at reserve price is being added up and shown down below. Now if you add all these numbers which are shown here for these bands, it comes out to be 96,317.65 crores. So this is the total value of spectrum which is being offered for this auction. And then if we look at the total quantum of spectrum which has been offered, then the snapshot is being before you. You can see that in 800 megahertz band, we have a total quantum of spectrum of 118.8 megahertz. In 900 megahertz band, 118 megahertz. In 1800 megahertz band, 221.4 megahertz. In 2100 megahertz band, 125 megahertz. In 2300 is 60 megahertz. 2500 is 70 megahertz. And then 3500 is 1110 megahertz. And then we have the 26 gigahertz band, which is 8700 megahertz. Okay, so this is the quantum of spectrum offer. Now what is the purpose of this video? The purpose of this video to explain to you is that how many rounds this auction is going to last and why. And while doing so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take you through past auctions. And when I created this tool, I actually had only three dimensions: spectrum band, auction year, and auction band wise. So if you look at this, this is the main menu here. This is the main menu here, and here there are only three selections. Now today, and in 10 days of hard work that I actually have put together, and I'm going to show you the code. I have put another option here for the viewers to look into, which will give you a snapshot of a particular spectrum auction year for all the bands together. Because earlier, when I had created this tool, these options did not give you a snapshot of the complete year. So let's say if I did a auction band wise and I wanted to select a particular band, then I can select a band and then I can choose any of the dimension and the feature. Let's say provisional winning bid. I will only get only band wise. I'm not going to get the full band in one single snapshot. So what you see in front of you is a new version of this tool which gives you the full auction snapshot including all bands. So let me give you an example to show you. For example, in 2022 year 2022, you will see that these are the bands and these are the bid value provisional winners. So I'll just take my pen because this will look a little bit complicated. You will see that we have the 700 megahertz band, and these are the bidders. All the bidders are mentioned: Adani, Bharti, RGO, Vodafone. Reason I mention all the bidders is to have a uniform structure for all these bidding blocks, so that it looks better for the viewers. When I change the round number here, then you don't get confused. And every bidder has been given a color code. For example, if RGO is red, then RGO will be red in all the bands. So you can very easily identify who is bidding and how the bidding is going on by looking at the color code. Otherwise, looking at this whole sheet becomes so complex that it becomes very difficult to digest what is going on, right? So this is 700 megahertz band, then 800 megahertz band, then 900 megahertz band, the 1800 megahertz band, the 2100 megahertz band, 25, 35 and 2600 megahertz band circle wise. So all the circles names are mentioned here. So under each and every band, if you see, the circles names are mentioned here. And then you have got one more block here, which is basically adding up all the rows. So for each and every band, I have created another block here, which adds up. And then the cumulative value of all this addition is portrayed here. We put it here, right? And the round number is also mentioned, and the activity factor, which is very, very important. I'm going to talk about that, is also mentioned, and the auction year is mentioned here. So how it works, how the tool works. So what I will do is, I can just simply, if you look at this, the total rounds in the year 2022 auction was 40. See, it is mentioned here. So what I will do is, I will simply change this, push this plus sign. So as soon as I push this plus sign, the round number will change. So you should see the round number has changed here, right? Round number 2. Because earlier it was round number 1, now it is round number 2, right? And these values are going to change depending upon how the bidding is happening, right? And this is the activity factor, which tells us that the auctioneer, what kind of activity factor has been announced before the start of the round during the auction for that particular round, right? And why this activity factor is important? Because the intensity of the bidding is governed by this activity factor. So we have to very closely watch this activity factor, and you will see that why a particular auction got closed soon, and based on the earlier experience of the various auctions that we have seen in past, which we can pull down from this menu down, you will be able to predict how quickly this auction is going to end. That's the whole purpose of this video. So let's do this. For the year 2022, so this is the year, the last year, how the auction proceeded. We had total 40 rounds, okay? So I can choose any of the dimension to view here. For example, I have chosen the bid value of the provisional winners. So what I can do is that I can just pull down the menu, and then I can choose the block selected. So if I choose block selected, then you will see that the total block selected in round number 2 is 0. But in the first round, you will see that there will be many people who will select blocks. Why? In round number 2, the blocks are 0, because once you select the block, then it is the end of the auction till the time the activity is further increased from point 8 to point 9 and 1. And I will explain to you. Just be with me. You will understand what is going on, right? So for that, block selected is very important, because that will give you the exact, what actually went on the auction round by round. And since the auction is a very complicated affair, and I'm doing this video to explain to you, just be with me, because it is a very complex thing to understand. Unless you understand what I'm going to talk about point by point, step by step, you will not be able to make any sense. Okay, so block selected means what? At that moment of time, which is basically round number 1, how many blocks of spectrum, right, was selected by the bidder out of the total block. For example, if you look at the first round, so if I show you the first round here, in the first round, the total blocks which were available in the 700 megahertz band was 5 blocks of 5 megahertz, that is total 25 megahertz, out of which Reliance Jio had selected 2 blocks for all the circles. You see, 2 out of 5. Similarly, RGO selected 4 blocks of that is, one block is of 1.25 megahertz in 800 megahertz band. So that is 5 megahertz is selected out of 5 megahertz, right? So I can do what? I can do basically do megahertz selected. That is going to give you a better picture rather than block selected. So no, not this megahertz for sale. I should do megahertz selected. Just give me a minute. Megahertz selected. Here is megahertz selected, because megahertz selected is better, because block sometimes gives quite confusing. So here you see megahertz selected was what? 25 megahertz, 10 megahertz out of 25. Similarly, 5 megahertz out of 5, 555, 3.8 megahertz out of 4.4, like that, right? So this is what was selected in round number 1 for the year 2022 auction. Now let's go to round number 2. Everything will get blanked out, because there was no block selected, there was no need. right? Once you have selected the blocks, then you just wait and just see what the auctioneer will do now. The auctioneer has to increase the activity factor 8 because you're holding your points to your chest, because you're not supposed to make all your points available to all the bidders in the first round itself till the time the activity factor is made to convert it to 1. 1 means that you have to put all the points on the table. Whatever points that you have with you, everything will be on the table. Here 0.8 means, in round number 2 it was 0.8 means that you don't have to put all the points on the table. You can hold on 20% of the points to your chest, which you will still be preserving even if you have not made those points used in the bidding process. So what happened in round number 2? Activity was still 0.8 and the megahertz selected was 0. So let's go to round number 3. Round number 3, what happened? Still the activity, now activity was increased to 0.9 because there was no bidding which happened in round number 2. So what the auctioneer did, they immediately converted the activity changed the activity from 0.8 to 0.9. Now you saw that as soon as the activity was converted from 0.8 to 0.9, Voda Idea bidded in here in the 2600 gigahertz band, which it was holding, right, till round number 3. So this was the amount of spectrum that it bidded in many of the circles. Like for example, in Delhi it bid around 200 megahertz, in Karnataka 200. So it's getting a little jumbled up because the quantum of spectrum is large. So this gives you an idea. You don't have to basically look at each and every aspect. The whole point about this video is to make you understand what is going on. Now let's go to round number 4. Now in round number 4, what happened? Nothing happened. Activity factor still remained 0.9. Nobody bid any blocks. Now let's go to round number 5. Now round number 5, you see that Rajio started beginning because now the activity factor has been changed to 1. Means you have to put all your points on the table. You can't keep any points too close to your chest, right? So as soon as the activity factor was converted to 1 in round number 5, all started bidding. Now from now onwards, if you don't bid, then what happens? You will lose your points. So that is the 5th round. Now let's go to the 6th round. 6th round, what happened? 6th round, the activity factor still remained 1. Now RGO is bidding what? Still they have started bidded Orissa as well as the UP East, right? So they bid in 2 circles. Bharti did not bid, neither anybody Vodafone Idea bid. Round number 7, what happened? Now Bharti has started bidding UP East. Now if you remember, in this auction, because of this UP East thing, the auction actually lasted for a long period of time, 40 rounds. Otherwise you would have got closed in few rounds only, which you will see in some of the other auctions, right? So let's now keep going. Now let's go to round number 8. Now you'll see that both Bharti and Jio will be focusing all their energy in UP East. So what is happening? Out of 10.8 megahertz, Jio is bidding 10 megahertz and Bharti is bidding how much? Bharti is also trying to get UP East and they are also bidding in alternate rounds. So if I keep on going, you'll see that there will be an alternate bidding between Bharti. So Bharti is bidding 5 megahertz and Jio is bidding 10 megahertz out of 10.8. You can just keep your focus here. Right? Your focus should be in this particular block of the screen. Let me just show you this one. Right? Now let's go further. Now if I go to round number 12, see, still there will be a fight going on between Bharti and Jio. So I'll keep going, right? I'll keep going. So let's go to round number 16. Still the fight is on. You see? Round number 17, 18, 19. So let me just jump to round number 25 because I don't want to waste time of the viewers just to skip because there will be multiple bidding. Still Jio is bidding 10 megahertz and let's see what Bharti is bidding now in round number 26. Round number 26, Bharti 27. Let's see. Bharti is still bidding 5. So we have 40 rounds. So let me go to round number 35. If I go to round number 35, you see what's happening. Bharti has bid 5 megahertz of 10 because Bharti desperately wanted UP East. So let's go further. 36. 36, what happened? 36, we are still there. Bharti is holding. And then 37, what is happening? Jio has bid 10 megahertz, right? And now in 38, what happened? Let's see. Again, still Bharti has not bid anything. And 39, what happened? Bharti has bid 5 megahertz. And then in 40, round number 40, what happened? The auction actually got closed, right? So if you look at this, the overall final bid and active provisional winning bidders, because actually that is going to give you the picture. The provisional bidding bidders the provisional winning bid. Sorry, not end, start end. It should be round end. At the end of the round, provisional winning bid and round end. So you will see that the auction basically got closed in how much money that the outflow happened? 1.5 lakh crores, right? This is the total provisional winning output. See, total round was 40, activity factor was 1, and who won what spectrum? So you will see that ultimately UP East, what happened was that the value of UP is 32. This is basically per megahertz, right? So let me just do this. I think this is not the right. This is the provisional winning bid per block, not per megahertz. So I think I should look at the value, bid value of the provisional winning. This is going to give you the better picture, right? So if I look at the bid value of the provisional winner, so you will see that in UP East, Jio ended up winning the larger block size of, which is basically Bharti only want a slice, right? So it only ended up spending how much? 131.7 crores. So it basically won a very small portion of the spectrum. Jio ultimately ended up winning spectrum. The total value was 1.5 lakh crores, right? And you'll find that the auction closed just because of the fight in UP East. The auction lasted for 40 rounds. Now let's go to the next round or next year of spectrum auction, which is year 2021, where the auction only lasted for 6 rounds. Now let's go round by round in this auction, because how many bands were there? We had 700 megahertz band, we had the 2500 megahertz band, they had 800, 900. Let me just take my pen again to show you. Some of the bands are basically seen as blanks because nobody had bid there. So because 700 is on top, then we have the 800 megahertz, then with the 900 megahertz, the 1800 megahertz, the 2100 megahertz, the 2300 and the 2500 megahertz. Here also, instead of doing bid value of provisional winners, I will do what? I will basically do block selected, because that is going to give a better picture, right? So what happened was block selected or megahertz selected. So let's do megahertz selected, because megahertz selected is better way of visualizing this rather than doing block selected, because you know exactly how much megahertz was selected out of how much. So you will notice that in round number 1 we have an activity factor of how much? 0.8. You see, the activity factor is 0.8, and the round number 1 we have total amount of megahertz selected was this, and the individual megahertz selected was clearly seen here. So you see the RGO has selected 800 megahertz out of maximum. There is only one bidder. Even though Bharti was also one of the bidders in some of the circle, like if you look at it, Haryana, it had selected 3.8 out of 10. But if you add 3.8 to 5, it does not go above 10. Means the excess demand is still negative. Similarly, here also you'll find the excess demand is still negative. Here also MP also you'll find Bharti has selected 5 megahertz. Still the excess demand is still negative. Here also 10 megahertz. UP West 5 plus 5. Out of 12.5, so it is still negative, because 10 megahertz out of 12.5 megahertz, which is represented in the bracket. Similarly, in 1800 megahertz also you will find that there is nowhere you will find that the excess demand is actually negative, because if you add multiple bits, if you add here also, for example, in 11.2 plus 5 plus 4, it does not become equal to 24.8. It will be less than that. Similarly, here also if you find that there is nowhere negative. So in first round, everybody has bid. Now let's go to the next round and see what happened in the next round. Now in the next round, you'll find everything going to go blank, because there is no need to bid. The activity factor is 0.8. Here, you see, activity factor is 0.8. Now let's go to round number 3. Round number 3, since there was no bidding, the auctioneer actually raised the activity factor to 0.9, and Bharti had whatever points it had on the table actually consumed some of the points, and by bidding in some of the circles, right, additional bids than what they have already bid, right, in 900 megahertz band and in 1800 megahertz band. Now let's go to round number 4. Now in round number 4, what happened? The activity factor is still 0.9. No, there was no bids. In round number 5, you will find the activity factor is 1, And Bharti, because it was holding some of the points, even Vodafone Idea, it was holding some of the points. It had actually bid and put some of the points on the table by bidding Tamil Nadu, and Vodafone Idea by bidding UP West only 0.6 megahertz, as well as the 900 megahertz 0.8 megahertz out of 5.2. Now if you go to round number 6, right, because there was no bids, the auction closed. So why the auction closed in the 2021 auction in only 6 rounds? This is very important to understand. Why? Because there was no excess demand. Everywhere the total quantum of spectrum that they were bidding is less than the total available. And since there was no excess demand like what happened in UP East in the 2022 auction, the auction went on to 40 rounds, even though the activity factor was set exactly like what it has in the 2021 auction, right? In second round it was set at 0.9, and then in 2 or 3 rounds more it was set at 0.8, and then 0.9, and then 1. So within 6 rounds it was set to 0.1. It was increased to 0.1. 1, not 0.1, 1. Therefore, the bidders really didn't have any flexibility to hold any points to their chest. So the 2022 auction would have also got closed in 6 rounds if there was no excess demand in UP East. That's why it lasted for 40 rounds, right? Now let's look at the other auction, which is the auction of 2016. This will also give you a better picture, because 2016 auction lasted for 31 rounds. And why did it last for 31 rounds? Let's look at megahertz selected. Now let me just kill the 700 megahertz band, because it is going to be a distraction, because nobody bid there, right? So let's make the screen a little bit wider, and also I'll kill the 900 megahertz band also, because 900 megahertz band is also wasting a lot of space in the screen, right? Because it is not of many use. Now let's look at round number 1. Activity factor 0.8. We have got bids in 800 megahertz, in 1800 megahertz, in 2100 megahertz, 2300 and 2500 megahertz. I can kill the 2500 megahertz band also, but let it be there, because this screen is not that bad. Now let's look at, we have the activity factor 0.8 in round number 1 in the 2016 auction. Now let's go to round number 2. What happened in round number 2? There are still some bidding which has happened in Mumbai. Because why? Because you see there is an excess demand here. I'll just take my pen and show you that the bidding in Mumbai is more than the total quantum spectrum available. If you add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1.8 for RGO, Tata and Vodafone, you will find that it goes above 5 megahertz, and therefore there is an excess demand, and therefore there will be a price increase here, right? This is one of the circles where there was a problem, and rest of the circles there is no problem. See, there is always the demand is, because you have to basically see all the bids which has happened by all the operators in that circles, whether it is within that bracket total quantum of spectrum which was available in the circle or not, right? So except this, I can't see any of the places where, it is also there in 2300. If you see 20 plus 10, here also there is an excess demand, right? And here there is no, so here this is equal to the available demand, right? And here also it is equal to the available demand in Maharashtra. So there are 3 circles. So three circles and 3 bands. One is Mumbai in 1800, in Gujarat in 2300, and here in Kerala it is equal to the total demand, and rest of there is negative excess demand. So let's go to round number 3. Let's go to round number 3. In round number 3, what happened? Let's see. Round number 3 also there is bidding taking place. Therefore, look, activity factor is still 0.8. There are still bidding taking place in some of the circles where points are getting shifted from one band to other. So let's go to round number 4. Still there are bidding taking place. See, so there was some demands in this particular auction, and it was more than the quarter of spectrum available, and that is why the bidding is continuing in many of the circles. For example, in Gujarat, you see still there is a lot of fight going on in Gujarat. In 2300 we have a 10 megahertz, 20 plus 10, it's all 40, and the total available spectrum is only 20. So let's go to round number 6. Still, you see, there are a lot of demand which is happening. Round number 10. Let me just go skip and go to round number 20 because it will be inefficient otherwise. So now 2100 you see no bidding, 2300 no bidding, 2500 no bidding, and the bidding is focused in the 1800 megahertz band. And you will find that in most circles the excess demand is negative, means there is no positive demand more than the total available bids, right? Except for Mumbai, where the total quantum spectrum available is only 5 megahertz, and the total demand is also 5 megahertz by Tata, right? So that is why it is the price will still increase, because when the demand is equal to supply, price will increase. So now you see it's still going on, and now let's go to round number 28 and see what happened. So you see the activity factor actually has increased in between. So which round the activity factor increased to 1? Let's see. When the bidding intensity actually went very low, the bidder basically looked for increasing the activity factor to 1. So let's see which round it is. I'm still going back. So so it is basically probably it is round number 13. Round number 13, 14. So in round number 14, the activity went to 1. So everybody had to bid all the points on the table. Now let me just go to round number 28. And when I go to round number 28, you'll see that the bidding is now focused in the 1800 megahertz band. So there is a positive demand between the battle is going on between Idea and Tata, right? And rest of the circle, there is already negative demand, right? So somebody has to give up. Let's say round number 29. So we have Tata bidding. So there is nobody is now, they have given it up, and now there has been a switch of point from Idea to 2100 megahertz band, but still it is the excess demand is still negative here, you see. Now round number 31, the auction is closed because nobody had bid and activity is 100%, and therefore there is no need for the auction to continue. Now let's look at the provisional winners, right? The bid value of provisional winners. So you'll find the provisional winners. These are the provisional winners. These are the bands, and the total value of auction was how much? 65,790. Right? So this is the total value, and the auction got closed in 31 rounds. So you know that why the auction actually continues for a long period of time and why it closes. So there is a mix of the excess demand as well as the activity factor. The auction will close when there is going to be no bid in the subsequent round and the activity factor is 100%, which is 1, right? Then auction is going to close. Otherwise, it will continue to go on. Now, in this current auction, looking at the total amount of spectrum, now I don't want to go into 2015 and because those are very high demand auctions. So let's go to the final, let's look at the auction year wise, and let's look at the total quantum of spectrum which has been offered in the 2024 auction. So you will notice that looks like that this auction is going to be over in 6-7 rounds. Why? Let's look at the quantum spectrum offered in the various circles, which will give you an idea. So you'll see 800 megahertz, there are a lot of spectrum available, but in 800 megahertz band there won't be any bidders, and let me tell you why. Let's go to the spectrum band and let's look at the 800 megahertz spectrum, which is going to give us an idea why there won't be any bidders here in the 800 megahertz spectrum, which I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that there won't be any bidders, and I'll give you the reason. So you see, in 800 megahertz, Reliance already has 10 megahertz in all the circles. If I just do a filtering based on Reliance, RGO, you'll find that Reliance has spectrum in all the circles, and in Mumbai it has got 15 megahertz, and it doesn't require to increase its 4G capacity because ultimately it is going to expand to 5G, which is 700 megahertz band. Expanding in 800 megahertz does not give any sense to Reliance. That's what my belief, because it's a huge cost, right? The spectrum is of high value. And why Bharti is not going to bid? Because if Bharti wants to take this spectrum, Reliance will be able to block it by bidding unequal. Means Reliance can bid only 1.25 megahertz and Bharti has to bid the full 10 megahertz, and because of this unequal bidding, Bharti will not be able to win this spectrum. So there won't be any bidding, and I will show you, if your time permits, I will show you that in 2015 what happened and why Reliance lost AP, Maharashtra and Mumbai. from Tata in the 800 megahertz band because of this unequal bidding. Now let's look at the 900 megahertz band. In the 900 megahertz band, let's look at 900 megahertz band. You'll find that 900 megahertz band also, these are the spectrum which is available. I'll just show you in 900 megahertz spectrum. You'll see that these are the pink which are available. So there is a possibility that Bharti can expand there, but since this is going to be a band of only Bharti, Reliance is not interested in this particular spectrum band. Very likely that you will not see any excess demand in this circle, because Vodafone may not bid, right? I don't think Vodafone bid. So a lot of spectrum is available for Bharti to take, and if Bharti wants to take, it will take in first round itself, and that's going to be over. Then 1800, let's look at 1800 megahertz spectrum. In 1800 megahertz spectrum, you will see that these are all pink spectrum, and lot of spectrum available for various users. You see Bharti green, Vodafone blue, Reliance Jio, red, and these pink are all available for auction. There are a lot of spectrum available. I don't think that anybody is going to be bothered about taking any more spectrum. Similarly, let's look at the 2100 megahertz band. You will find that in 2100 megahertz band, the same situation. Nobody is going to bid. These are the pink which are available, and I don't think anybody is interested in bidding them, because Reliance is not interested in 2300, in 2100. In 2300, yes, there is a possibility of Bharti taking the additional 10 megahertz which is available here. You see, this is the 10 because it's adjacent to Bharti. Bharti green, and these are 10 pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think Reliance is going to take this, and there is no contender for this spectrum. So if they bid, then the next round bidding, there is no need to bid. There will be no excess demand. So there is not going to be any competition in this band also. Now let's look at the 3500 megahertz band. In the 3500 megahertz band, if you see, you will find a similar situation, because lot of spectrum is available for Bharti as well as Bharti green. See, quantum spectrum 100 megahertz. Reliance has got 130 megahertz in many circles, and this is BSNL, and this is Vodafone Idea. And Vodafone Idea may bid 3500. I don't think that they will, but they may bid in some of the circles. But there will be no competition here. That is the point. And 2600 megahertz, 26 gigahertz band is anyway, not a very good band because of very poor propagation characteristics, and nobody has deployed any spectrum in this band. So here also you'll find the Reliance Jio has got 1 gigahertz, Bharti has 800 megahertz, and Vodafone Idea has got some spectrum here and there, and this is BSNL. So if Vodafone Idea decides to bid 26 gigahertz band in one of the blogs which I have written, it will do so in order to decrease their SUC, spectrum usage charge. I will basically put the link in that description, and you will be able to see it and read it and understand it. So friend, that is in short this. And this tool that I have created, I'm going to give you just a glimpse of the code. This code has become very complicated. This is the code, you see this. And it has taken me a huge amount of time to write this code. It is my 2 months more plus, and you see 6,477 lines. I'm still basically improving this code, and fortunately this is available free for everybody. Whoever wants to look at this code, understand this code. This is not a very structured code, by the way. I'm not a professional programmer. I have done whatever is best in my part. You can go to my GitHub page and you can look at this code. So friends, thanks a lot and for your time, and will continuously monitor this auction. I'll come back to you with a new video to kind of update the outcome of this auction as soon as the results are available for the day. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks a lot.